And this morning, crews are making progress cleaning up I-25 near Pueblo. Brianna Fernandez, of course, covering this story for us this morning. What's the timeline looking like? There's still a lot that needs to happen here.
So we know the road is going to be cleaned up later today, but first CDOT has to do an inspection before the road can fully reopen. So that's going to be I-25 for those in Pueblo. And for the first time today, we are hearing from the family of that truck driver who was killed when the train derailed, crashing down onto I-25. His name is LaFollette Henderson. He was a father of 6 and a cancer survivor who loved his job. When he was on the road, his daughter, Trina James, will call to check up on him, especially when there was a crash on his route. This time around, she didn't have a chance. Henderson was driving his truck on I-25 just north of Pueblo on Sunday, and he was under a bridge when the train derailed. Investigators say a broken rail likely caused the trains to go off the tracks, and shortly after, that's when the bridge collapsed. James is haunted by the what-ifs, wondering if her father would have just slept for a few extra minutes or maybe took a phone call. He could still be here today.
For us, we're just so shocked that out of everybody that went under that bridge, him. Why? Like, just, I don't have a why. I'm telling my daughter, who gave my dad a little bear. My daughter calls it his safety bear. She's like, Mom, so safety bear didn't keep him safe.
It's heartbreaking to hear. So while BNSF says CDOT owns that bridge that collapsed, CDOT says they have found conflicting information. So we're continuing to ask questions about what exactly and who exactly is responsible for maintaining that bridge. Officials say crews should be finishing clearing that coal from the road later today. And once that's completed, CDOT will inspect the road before reopening. We also know that Governor Jared Polis is expected to visit the site for the first time later today.
All right, Brianna, thank you.
Today, the 3 people accused of throwing rocks at cars killing a 20-year-old woman are set to have their first hearing. Joe Koenig, Mitch Carolchik, and Zachary Quack are all charged with first-degree murder. Alexa Bartel was killed back in April as she was driving home near the Rocky Flats National Wildlife Refuge. Bartel was on the phone with a friend, and the line went silent. Bartel's friend tracked down her phone and drove to her location, finding Bartel dead inside her car off the road in a field. On the same night that Bartel was killed, several other drivers reported that their vehicles were also hit by large rocks. The 3 suspects are charged in those incidents as well. Their hearings are set for 8:30 this morning.
New information this morning on the investigation into the funeral home in southern Colorado where people's remains were not properly stored. Investigators now say that they have found the remains of nearly 200 people. Originally, they thought there were 115. The Return to Nature funeral home in Penrose, just west of Pueblo, advertised so-called green burials where bodies were not embalmed. Deputies found out when they showed up to look into a bad smell at the property. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation says it removed all the remains last Friday. A team with the Fremont County coroner is working now to identify all the bodies and tell their families. They don't know yet how long it'll take. The FBI has also set up a tip line for families who believe their loved ones were not laid to rest. Court records show the owners of the business owe tens of thousands of dollars. A coffin supply company sued John and Carrie Halford for more than $20,000. A real estate firm says they owe more than $97,000 in rent. The facility's registration expired in November. Colorado is the only state that does not license funeral home operators. A Republican state lawmaker was already pushing for the state to change that after 2 women running a funeral home on the western slope were convicted of federal crimes for selling bodies. Later this morning on KTVD, our legal analyst Whitney Traylor will join us to give us a better understanding of this case.
It's 6:06 right now, and the state is sending out thousands of new ballots after voters got ones that are missing most of the questions. Colorado Secretary of State says a vendor sent out incorrect ballots to 15,000 voters in Teller County. That's more than 75% of the county's active voters. The county clerk's office says that the incorrect ballots are missing the questions for both statewide propositions and the Woodland Park School Board director races. That school board has gotten national attention for a series of conservative policies, adopting a civics program rejected by the state and declining grants for mental health programs. The clerk's office says it'll drop replacement ballots in the mail by Friday.
Taking a live look right now over Denver, the November election inching closer. Today marks 20 days out until Election Day across Colorado. And before you fill out your ballot, 9 News and our partners at the Denver Gazette are hosting a live debate on the statewide question Prop HH. This is scheduled for next Monday, October 23rd at 7 o'clock. Now, one thing to note, the debate will only be streaming. You can watch it live on our 9 News app, 9 News Plus, as well as the Gazette platforms. Our Marshall Zellinger will moderate that debate. Prop HH is a plan to cut down on property taxes by taking money from your Tabor refunds. In Monday's debate, we will hear from both sides for and against passing this measure.
Today in Washington, the House of Representatives will vote again on a new speaker. Republican candidate Jim Jordan brought a vote to the floor for the first time yesterday, but he didn't come close to getting enough votes. 20 lawmakers in his own party voted against him. One of the Republicans was Colorado Representative Ken Buck.
Buck says he wants Jordan to denounce former President Trump's claims about rigged elections.
I think that if we have a presidential candidate who right now is leading, who denies that he lost the election and was obviously behind what happened on January 6th, and we have a speaker in a similar situation, we have 20 Republicans sitting in Joe Biden districts right now, districts that Joe Biden won in 2020, and those 20 Republicans are going to be at risk. There's no way we win the majority if the message we send to the American people is that we believe that the election was stolen, and we believe that January 6th was okay.
Why would you say to Ken Buck that the election was stolen in 2020? That was not stolen.
Do you still think they were?
Today's vote is scheduled for 9 o'clock this morning. Jordan will need a simple majority of votes in the House to get elected.
And one thing you want to know about the weather is the weekend coming up. How good is it going to be? I think pretty darn good. 78 on Saturday, and on Sunday, 75 degrees, lots of sunshine.
Ed, thank you. Right now, as far as we're going on the roads right at this hour, a whole lot of green, not a whole lot happening. As we zoom into 76 coming into Commerce City, that's the only little slow spot we're tracking between Vasquez and 270. Only about a 4 or 5 minute slowdown there.
A new report shows e-scooters and e-bikes are sending more and more people to the hospital each year. Fractures, cuts, burns, and concussions from them were up more than 20% last year. In fact, injuries from e-bikes, e-scooters, and hoverboards have gone up about 23% each year since 2017. More than a third of those involved kids 14 and younger, and at least 233 people died in that 6-year period.